Welcome to Avidnote, the complete AI solution for researchers. With Avidnote, you can read with AI, you can write with AI, and you can analyze with AI. Let's start out by writing with AI. To do that, we click on the AI templates. Here, you will see all of the available AI templates that you can use inside Avidnote. We click on Write to go to the writing section. And here you can select what you want to write. Do you want to write an introduction, method, literature review? In this example, I'm going to write a literature review. Here, you then input on the left side what your study is about. So let's say that my study is about sustainability in manufacturing industry. The more detailed I am, the better. You can also change the language. And then on the right side, you get the output. So the AI starts writing based on the description that you gave it. If you wanted to write more, the recommendation is to simply copy and paste from your output and paste it in here again on the left side and simply generate again. This will basically make the AI write more about that specific topic that you pasted in. So if you want to build upon the text, this is how you can write more text and essentially have different modules of the text that you then later on sift through. And of course, you can rewrite the text that is written here, which you should rewrite, and of course, incorporate your own text and find proper sources. This can also be edited. You can change the fonts, and you always need to be careful and verify the information is correct. If we go up here, you can save the document. Let's call it my document and click save. You can name it whatever you want, and then that will show up here under saved AI answers. You can also select a workbook. These are categories, so you can name them after papers or maybe research areas or whatever you choose. And you can create these under workbooks. If you click on Export as Word document, it will export the text that has been generated as a Word file. So in this example, we have our document here. And when I open it up, it will then open up in Microsoft Word, where you can further edit the text and add your own text and incorporate proper references. If we go back, you'll find that we have several other templates that you can use for research purposes. For example, you can plan your lessons. So for example, let's say that you have a course that you are teaching and you're teaching quadratic equations. And let's say you're teaching this to undergraduates. And then you click generate text and the AI will essentially come up with lessons plans that you can give to your students, including examples, problems that they can solve, and the solutions to those problems, as well as potential assignments that you can assign to the students. You can do this not just for quantitative subjects, you can also do it for qualitative subjects. So for example, let's say history, and you want to talk about the history of the Persian Empire, focusing on Cyrus the Great, and we click generate text. The AI will then come up with lessons that you can teach your students. And of course, it's always important to make sure that the information is accurate. You can save this inside Avidnote, or you can simply copy and paste it to whatever work system that you're using, Word or some other system. If we click on AI templates again, we can now see the data column. Here you can use this for analyzing data. So for example, if you have a data set that you want to analyze, you can simply click on Analyze Data. So let's say, for example, I have a data set that I want to analyze. Here I have a sample file. This is some data from different companies around the world, the largest companies in the world, based on revenue. And it shows the name of the company, how many employees, the revenue, and the country. So let's paste this data in to Avidnote, and then we can ask questions to the data set. So this is really amazing. It can get you information from data sets. It might find correlations and insights within data sets, and also provide an assessment of the data. So let's say, as an example, I want to say which country had the most companies in this data set. I can also say which company in the financial sector ranked the highest. And then I can say maybe compare the US and China. And I go down and I click generate text. The AI will then, based on the data that I have inputted, try to answer the questions that I posed, as well as analyze the data for insights, assess the data, and try to basically enrich the data, and then come up with further ways to analyze the data. So in the top, it gives you the insights. It says, for example, the financial sector is represented by 4 companies in this data set, that China has the second highest number of companies in the data set. And then it tries to assess the data. So it says the high revenue of Walmart can be attributed to its large number of employees and its presence in the retail industry, which has a high demand. And then it talks about other companies as well, like Saudi Aramco. If we go down here, it then suggests further ways to analyze the data. So for example, the AI suggests conducting a deeper analysis of the companies in the financial sector to identify trends and potential growth, analyze the revenue per worker of companies in different industries to identify industries with high productivity and efficiency. So it comes up with ways to further analyze this. For example, we could do a regression analysis and so forth. And then at the end, it answered our questions. So the first question was, which country had the most companies in the data set? We got the United States as the country with the most companies represented. The second question was, which company in the financial sector ranked the highest? It responded with Berkshire Hathaway, which is also accurate. So if you look in the data set here, Berkshire Hathaway is the company in the financial sector which ranks the highest in this data. And then finally, I asked compare the US and China, and it came up with a comparison that you can read here. So this is a very useful way to work with your data. Now let's take a look at reading with AI. We won't have enough time here to look at all of the AI templates. If you want to experiment with them, please feel free to try out the different templates and see which you find to be the most useful. Now let's look at reading with AI. So in order to read with AI, we either go home or we go to my library. So inside of my library, you can create your different projects, your different folders. So in order to create a folder, you just click add folder, let's call it my new research project. And then what we can do is we can open up this folder and we can upload files to this folder, either by clicking here or by clicking on this little text here. And simply we upload the document that we want to upload. And then it takes a few seconds. Once it's uploaded, you can close the window, and now you have the paper here that you can open. You can also find this under all papers. So once you have opened it, you get the text here. This is the paper that you are reading. You can of course zoom in, and you can also go into full screen mode if you want to have this in full screen mode. But for now, let's go back to our regular view. On the left side here, you can write notes. I can write my notes here. And if you save, it will then be saved as a note. You can, of course, give this a different header. So you can call it intro as an example. And if I want to create another note, I create my second note here. And you can click save. Of course, you can use the full screen functionality here as well. For the AI, you click on AI, and then you can chat with the document. What this means is that you can essentially get answers to your questions about this paper. So for example, what is this paper about? And then we click send. And it takes a few seconds, and then the AI answers. This paper is a review of the theoretical literature on why people migrate, focusing on the migration theories, and then it keeps on going. So we can either copy this answer if we like it. We can go back to the editor and we can paste it in and save. Or we can, of course, keep chatting. So in this example, I'm going to ask, what does the paper say in chapter 5, for example? And we click send. And chapter 5, let's see if we can locate that. So we have chapter 5 here. The AI says chapter 5 of the paper discusses the new economics of labor migration. And you can see here the new economics of labor migration. And then it keeps on talking about this chapter and basically discusses what the chapter talks about. So this is a much, much faster way to work with AI. And you can, of course, use the annotation functionalities as well. So you can highlight text, you can colorize this text and make it into different colors. If you're using a system, for example, where red is good and green is bad. So all you need to do is, let me zoom out so it's easier to see. You click on this and you can change the color. Make this green, make this blue, whatever you wish. You can also create smaller notes. So for example, if you click on this little bar here, we can say, use this in my paper, and then I can remember that. And if I click on the annotations bar here, I will see every annotation that I've created. And when I click on it, it will jump to that specific page. Okay, so the final thing I want to show here is that you can use these preset templates as well. So let's say you have read something and you didn't quite understand it. You can copy that text. So I have some text here. I'm going to copy that text. And then I'm going to choose explain this to me. And I'm going to paste it in. Now, when I click send, the AI is going to attempt to explain whatever you pasted in here and give you an explanation in easy language that is not complicated. And then it's going to give you the glossary of the terms that were used. So for example, what does net gain mean? The positive difference between gains and losses. And it defines all of the terms that were used in this specific text. You can also use this for other use cases. So let's say you have some text and you want to, for example, rewrite that text. You can paste it in and you can click rewrite this text. You can also use the AI templates to accomplish this if you, for example, want to paste in more text. Another use case here is proofreading text. So you can paste in text, and then if that text has mistakes, so let's put in a few mistakes in this text here as an example. Let's make it a bit shorter as well, so we don't have that much text to work with. So let's shorten this a bit. And then what we can do now is we can basically click send, and the AI is going to try to proofread the text. And essentially, instead of rewriting it completely, it's just going to fix the mistakes. So, for example, it corrected this term here. So we're using the same, in this case, it's British spelling to American spelling, but it also added some punctuations. It fixed some other issues with the text. And then at the end, it comes up with some suggestions on further ways to improve the text. So this is how you would use the AI functionalities. You can also use the full document questions. Now, these are very useful when you don't want to explain things in details. You just want to say, for example, summarize this document without writing anything. This will summarize the entire document. It takes a few seconds, and then it will give you a summary as a short summary, but also a detailed summary that contains an analysis of the text and also some key quotes from the text that might be useful to use, for example, in your literature review. There are other functionalities here as well. You can get the results from the study. You can look at the methodology. You can look at the limitations of the study. For example, if I click on results, it will then give me as a list the key takeaways and the key results from this study in simple format. So this is how you would use it to read and to write. And as you can see, the left side always contains the editor where you can edit. And on the right side, you have the text that you are reading side by side, so you never switch between the different windows. To use the tags, you simply click on tags, and here you can create any tag. In this example, I'm going to create one that's called economy as an example. Click enter, and then save. And if I go back here, you will see all papers. If I click on all papers, you will see every paper that you have uploaded with the notes that you have created. So these were the notes that we just created now. And you can also see the tags. So you can filter by tags. I just created a tag. It was called economy, so I'll click on that. And then you'll see all of the papers that have this specific tag. In this example, we only have one. Of course, you can create as many tags as you want in order to filter between your papers and your notes. You can also search for things. So for example, if I search for management, it will search through every document and note that I have and find all of the instances where this keyword has been used. This is very useful for finding a specific note that you have created somewhere inside the platform. Now, if you want to upload your paper, as we saw before, you can either upload the paper by clicking Upload Paper here, or as we saw inside the library, after you had created a folder, you simply uploaded the files, or you can click Upload Papers and then choose which folder you want to save it in. Another way to upload documents is to go to the settings, and under Advanced Settings, you can enable this feature. That will enable you to essentially find new papers within Avidnote. So you'll have a new search bar that comes up here in the bottom. If I search, example, for Marie Curie, it will then find papers that are available outside Avidnote. And if the paper is available, you can click on it. And it takes a few seconds to import. Once it has imported, it should take you to the PDF page. If you get an error, like in this case, what you can do is simply go to the All Papers, and you will see that it has actually been imported. Sometimes you simply need to refresh the page. So in this case, this was the paper that I imported. If I click on it, it will then take me to that specific page, and then I can start working on it. So I can start taking notes, and I can use the AI bar here to basically explain text and summarize text. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for the AI to load, just like in this case. And if you wait those few seconds, the AI bar will hopefully show up. Finally, the final thing I want to show is the transcription part. So if you click on AI Transcribe, you can upload any audio file or video file. In this example, I'm going to upload an interview here, and I can click transcribe, and then the AI will transcribe the entire audio file. So in this case, it's an interview. You can select which language and also describe it, but usually you can leave these settings on the default. The AI is able to detect it. It takes a few minutes to transcribe. Once the transcription is finished, you can give it a name and you can save it, and you'll be able to find it here under saved transcripts. So let me open up a transcript from the past that has already been saved. If I click on the plus symbol here, this is the transcript from the interview. What I can do with this is I can copy this. Of course, if I want, I can download it as a Word file, but I can also use it in the AI template. So if I click on AI template and I go down to under data, I go to analyze interview. I can analyze the interview, or I can code the interview using, for example, grounded theory, or I can define how I want the coding to be done, or I can just analyze it. So in this example, I'm going to analyze it. So I paste it in. This is the entire interview that normally would take hours to transcribe, but with AI, you can do it in a few minutes. You then click generate text, and the AI will then essentially give you the key themes from the interview with what was spoken about, the different themes, the insights, as well as key citations and actual quotes from the interview itself. So this is very useful when you're doing interview-based studies. For those of you who program, you can use the AI coding. This is programming coding. And you can select which programming language you want to use. For the AI chat, you can simply use an AI chat similar to ChatGPT. You just create a new chat, and then you can ask whatever you want. Who was Alexander the Great, as an example. And I click send, and then the AI will answer whatever prompt you input. Unlike the AI template, this one will keep the conversation going. So you can keep on asking questions, and the AI will remember the conversation. Once the conversation becomes too big, you will need to create a new chat. You can also download this as a Word file or as a PDF file. Thank you for listening to Avidnote. If you have any questions about using the product, go to avidnote.com/help, or you can go and contact us at avidnote.com/contact. Thank you for listening. If you need any support, please contact us. If you want to talk to us because you want a demo for your research group or for your department, please contact us and we can give a free demonstration to your group.